What's up? I'm Nizza,
Scott McIntosh.
and this is Loud and Proud.
We got a special guest tonight, Mike Coyote from Coyote Studios in Williamsburg.
Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Golf club. Thanks a lot, Mike, for coming down.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see you, Mike.
Yeah, Mike's, actually, we'll let Mike tell the story. Tell us a little bit about Coyote Studios.
Well, Coyote Studios started about 25 years ago in Williamsburg. We were like one of the first people there. Me and my brother Al started a studio actually in the music building on 38th Street. And then we shared it with the Del Lords. The DBs were across the hall from us. And then we decided, we were doing 45s. We had an 8-track. And we decided to go bigger. And we ended up out in Williamsburg in 1987.
Was that before it was like a hip scene then? Or
Oh,
was it
way
still going
before.
on?
Way
Yeah, right?
before. It was heroin addicts and hookers and packs of wild dogs around.
That's what I call a scene.
Yeah. And we got an old meat packing building. And we just started building the studio. And it was kind of difficult getting some people to come there, our normal clients from Manhattan. But what we did was we threw an open house party. We had a bunch of bands play. The A-Bones played. I was 20-something years ago. I don't remember, but a lot of bands played, and we had free beer, and it just got the word out, and people realized it was a lot easier to get to us than it was to some of the spots in Manhattan, and it just started taking off.
You gotta throw some perks out there. That's why, man. You gotta get people like that.
And then we were there until like 2007. My lease was up, and my landlord wanted to triple my rent. And I would have ended up, fucking landlord. Marjam, boycott Marjam lumber. And then, what else? So I gave up my lease, and now I'm like freelancing out of other studios right now. I work here with Scott once in a while, and there's a place in Jersey I work with.
Yeah,
And,
Mike does quite a bit of work here with not just our band, but with other bands that comes through here. And he's the man I go to every time. He's the best in the business. Me and Mike's worked together before.
Yeah, Scott did his first record
Addictions.
at Addictions at Coyote. That's when I met Scott. It was like 2000, right?
2002.
2002.
We came up here after
After
Sure.
9/11.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So how'd you get into music, Mike?
I kind of walked into it. My two older brothers, Manny used to be. He played bass. He started playing when he was like 7 years old. I think my grandfather gave him his first acoustic guitar. And my brother Al, who was my partner at Coyote, he played the drums. So all through my life, there was music going on in the house. They were rehearsing down in the basement. They had bands. I was into music, but not like engineering or anything. And I actually took piano lessons, and I was more interested in hanging out and doing some other stuff than rehearsing.
The surroundings of music.
Practicing, and you got to practice the piano. You got to practice any instrument to
Practice
be good.
makes
but-
perfect.
Yeah. So I was kicking around. Actually, I went to college. I was painting cars, rebuilding cars as a hobby, and I graduated from Stony Brook, and I was like, what am I going to do? My brother said, why don't you check out an engineering school? And I went to engineering school, and
Say that 3 times.
engineering school, and I liked it, and the rest is history.
Cool.
Yeah.
But what's the first concert you went to?
First concert was in 1973. It was called the Allman Brothers Day. It was down in Florida. We were down there. We just moved my grandmother down, and they were advertising it. I think it was at the Hollywood Bowl, and my older brother Manny wanted to go, so he said, "Well, I'll take you." So we went.
How old are you?
73. I was. Now I gotta do some math. Stop the camera for a minute. I was like,
Teens?
yeah, like 15,
That's the way to
15,
go, dude.
14, 13. 13.
Hey,
And
tell me how old you really are.
yeah. And it was Allman Brothers headlining. It was Johnny Winter, Agger Winter, John McLaughlin and the Mahavishnu Orchestra. Say that 3 times fast. Elvin Bishop,
Oh, great.
Commander Cody,
Wow.
and gotta be missing someone else. Probably a bunch of other bands because it was an all-day thing.
But the Allman Brothers were the headliners?
Yeah, I didn't get to see the Allman Brothers, but I got hit in the head with a can of beer from Commander Cody. And about 3 years ago, I was at BB King's. My friend puts on this concert at BB King's, the Jimi Hendrix birthday. Commander Cody was there. I was standing next to him, and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "you know, the first concert I saw was you out down in Florida. And you threw a can of beer into the audience, and it hit me." And he goes, "And you still going to shows? Cool, man."
Sick.
So that was it.
Hot rod. Lincoln.
So that was my first concert. Someone threw up on me. You know, it was one of those
Oh, yeah,
general
it's just
mission.
One of those that happens,
General
man.
mission out in the big, I guess the Hollywood Bowl. What was it? Baseball field, football field.
Cool.
I've never been there. I only heard
Yeah.
like, the doors out from the Hollywood Bowl and stuff like that.
It was pretty cool. It was, I think it was like 13 or something like that.
That's really cool.
And that just changed your life right then and there? Was
No,
that like
well,
the spark or?
Yeah, it made. Like I said, I was always into music.
And you missed the Allman Brothers.
Yeah, but my brother
Was
said.
Dwayne playing with them at that time?
No,
Yeah.
Dwayne was dead already.
That's right.
My brother said he he wanted to go, and I'm like, "Oh man, I want to see Allman Brothers." Being a little brother, and he's like, "You know what?" He goes, "When the Allman Brothers come around to where we live, he goes, I'll buy you a ticket." All right.
Yeah.
And so that was my second concert at Nassau Coliseum, the Allman Brothers, and it was like a couple of months later because they were doing a tour. They come, he gets me a ticket. We go with a bunch of friends. Me and 2 other friends, and he goes with his friends. And it's the first time in the Coliseum. So I'm walking around checking it out after I forget who the opening act was. And I'm walking around, and I run into my cousins standing there. And I'm like, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?" And they said, "Oh, Debbie," which is my other cousin, is trying to get us backstage. She met the Allman Brothers when she was in Florida.
Oh shit.
They were she was in Florida at the same time we were, and they were staying at the same hotel. So my 2 friends, the Allman Brothers started coming on. They're like, "Oh no, you're never gonna get on. We're going back to our seats." So I said, "Well, I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, right?" 2 seconds after my friends leave, my cousin Debbie comes up and grabs us all, and we all go down.
Sick.
So we're backstage, back on the side of the stage for the whole show. And my seats were like up on the side of the stage, so I kept on looking up at my friends, and they finally caught my eye, and they're like giving me the finger for being there.
That's so funny, dude. I have a similar story. When I went to the Warped Tour, all my friends split up. I just went backstage, and I started walking around, and we all said we were going to meet up to see No Use for a Name. And everybody was out in the crowd, and I'm standing on the side of the stage. I just played the role, dude, like I belong there,
Yeah.
And I'm just standing on the side of the stage, and they're all looking at me, throwing fucking mud, and like giving the finger and everything. Like, "How'd you do it?" So I talked shit, and then the next year we got thrown out within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
The cool thing was after the show was over, I went up on stage and grabbed the drumsticks. And then, I go back to the van where my brother's friends are, and my brother's friend says, "Hey man," he goes, "It's kind of strange." He goes, "There's a guy up on stage, a kid up on stage that looks like you." And I'm like, "Yeah man, it's me," and I'm showing
still
him
have
the
the
sticks.
you still have them?
Nah.
Nah?
Nah.
Ah, shit.
I don't know where they went.
So, getting back to Coyote Studios, what bands, like, other than, MFU that you work for, did you work with there?
Well, I worked with Joey Ramone and Andy Chernoff. Joey would come in, and at the time we were still 8-track, and he would come in with Andy Chernoff, and they would do demos for the next album, and then eventually the whole band would come in except for Johnny.
Really?
And then so worked with Joey.
So Johnny never came in? It was just
No, Johnny never came in for the demo things. They had CJ was there, and then
this is later on without Dee Dee.
Yeah, this is like probably
88?
early '90s. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
early '90s. Yeah, we moved in '87, so it had to be probably like 90.
How were they? They cool?
Yeah, they were cool guys. Joey Ramone was like the sweetest guy you ever want to meet. You know,
That's what everybody
rest
said.
in peace, man. He was a
Yeah.
real sweetheart.
Yesterday
Best
was,
bands ever, man.
Yeah.
yesterday was Dee Dee's death anniversary.
Yeah, that's right. Rest in peace, Dee Dee. We miss
That's
you.
right.
Music's just not the same without you guys.
Did some work with Rancid, right?
Yeah. Actually, my brother Al did work with Rancid. You know, I hung out with them.
H2O,
H2O,
the Dons.
the Dictators, did the Dictators' last record.
He sounds good too. I heard him in his Cadillac.
Oh yeah.
Well, we ran around when they had some great CD.
You worked with the Donnas?
Huh?
The Donnas?
No, we worked with
Was
the
it,
Donnas.
who was the girl band that was there right when we were recording Addiction?
When you were recording? I don't remember.
Yeah, there was a girl band there, Kitty or something maybe. I don't know.
Kitty's from Brooklyn, so it's probably a possibility.
They were rehearsing there or something.
Yeah, we'll probably come back
Maybe,
to
I
that
don't know.
time.
I got to work with Dion. That was pretty cool. He's another nice guy.
The Wanderer Dion?
Yeah, Wanderer.
Really?
Yeah, he had
Sick.
with Scott Kempner from the Dictators. They started the Dion and the Little Kings, and I
A
did
beer
some work
out of
with them.
Cincinnati, Little Kings.